And that's the little hidden rally car hatchback we have found here that no one on the market understands. I get it. This thing is marketed towards someone that doesn't want a Kia Soul but can't afford a Sorento.
Welcome to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And today we have, man, one of our favorite vehicles from Kia. Watch out, Telluride, it's the freaking Seltos. We have been loving this thing for years. It's our third time with it. And this one is completely refreshed for 2024. And mainly the front nose has been tweaked a little bit, but there's really some mechanical things and some build quality things that have been resolved from the previous gen, and that's really what matters. But let's start with the Monroney. This one happens to be an SX turbo all-wheel drive. And I'm gonna talk about the MPG real quick because people always care about that. 26 combined, 25 city, 27 highway. What did you get, Craig?
I was touching 29 when I was being responsible on the highway.
Okay, that's about what I was doing too, but it was hard to be responsible because of that spunky motor, which we'll talk about more in a minute. And the most important thing to me is this Pluto blue color.
Pluton.
Oh, excuse me, Pluton. That's why I took it out to look anyways. Look, this reminds me of Art Deco Miami like I've never seen. And you also got the black painted roof and no sunroof because you can't get one on the Seltos. I'm fine with that because headroom works. Every single person that saw this said, I like that color. And so do I. So let's come around here. Let's check out wheels and tires first. I did get a comment from a viewer and confidant here that this reminds them of a Korean Ninja Star. And it's a bit too much. They don't like it. They hated it and said it'll never work off-road. I had to remind that person that these wheels have nothing to do with off-road. The tire is what counts. And that's not going to help either. These are 235 45 18s. They are Kumo. They're the Majesty. And look, we've driven these tires before in the previous gen. They're actually really quiet on the highway. And speaking of that, we'll talk about on the drive. Road noise is down on this thing. They've done some hard work in there, and that is great. No complaints here. They handle well as well. Look at this right here. You see this black cladding, Craig?
Off-road.
Off-road intentions, maybe? We'll see. The previous gen had a dual clutch transmission. This one has something else. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And so maybe this means more than it used to. Let's come around the corner. Black painted mirror cap. It's hard to tell on camera, but that is actually metallic. That's not just flat black. I like that they care about that. It matches the roof paint exactly.
Gone is the all-wheel drive badge.
Oh, that's true. That is gone, isn't it?
We got a new one on the back.
New one on the back. Door handles, same thing on my Velociter N. It's got the button instead of the stick your hand and just open it. That's kind of annoying, but it is a Kia thing, so be it.
Minor.
It works, no complaints. You do have lane keep. It's in the mirrors. You'll see that when you're driving. Up top, you have these satin trimmed roof rails. They do have caps that pop off. You can do a roof basket. If you're going to be nice to it, you can also put a rooftop tent on here if you want to be very daring. I say do it.
Maybe a Go Fast Camper one. It's light enough.
I'm okay with that. Come around back. Here's a new badge Craig was talking about. 4X baby.
Yes.
What that means is there is a Haldex style clutch based all-wheel drive system, and it'll shoot power to the back when it needs to. There is also a center diff lock, which is not actually diff lock. It just changes the algorithm for when that clutch engages, so it works well. Aesthetically, you can keep the rooftop spoiler, shark fin, and third taillight up top. Got your wiper, which is kind of on the small side, but it gets the job done. For those that are wondering, see that? That is not KN. I've had several people in real life go, what's a KN? They don't know what it is. It's KIA, just new branding.
I like it.
I'm okay with that. I think it looks sharper. I think it looks better. Coming down low, you do have backup lights in the edges and reflectors down low. And then you have this rear valance down here. No trailer hitch available on this guy. Keep that in mind.
Is that a diffuser or a skid plate?
Diffuser, maybe, but it's painted. It's definitely not a skid plate because this thing is not going to protect you from anything. It's just going to get scuffed. Scuff plate. Check out under the hood. Oh, hey, last but not least, before I forget something else, it's time to check this fuel door. Okay, typical Hyundai Kia. I get it, but at least it's just a cable. It's probably never going to break. And this door opens nice and wide, but it is not capless. Come on.
Can I also tell you one thing? It's hard to, it kind of defaults to like not all the way open. You have to really push it all the way open.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get.
Well, and it is plastic, which makes you wonder down the road if it's going to fade the same way that the metal does, but the paint match is very good. Look, it's got a holder for the lid. Who cares? I'm just being capless. What you gonna do?
It does, and it does match mostly.
Mostly. Orange peel a little more than the rest. But under the hood, let's go. One more point before we get into the hood. I want to point something out real quick. Craig, do you have any guesses of the amount of Canadian and US parts in this car?
14%.
4%.
Ah.
And the major source of foreign parts is Korea at 85%. That puts us at 11% delta. Not sure where that went. EPA, what the hell's going on there? Let us know. But none of that matters. Let's get into the hood, Craig. God, that's hot. None
what
of that
she
matters.
said.
Let's get under the hood. This is very hot. I'm going to use this piece of paper to hold it, get the prop right on for a hamburger. It really is hot. Okay, turbo GDI Smart Stream. We've seen this motor before. We liked it then and we like it now. It is a 1.6 single turbo. And look, this thing reminds me of our Velociraptor as well. The intake looks the same. Turbo man is the same. Uses a MAP system instead of a mass air. Like it a lot. This thing's good for 175 horsepower, 195 pounds of torque, and it's mated to the all-new 4 Seltos 8-speed torque converted automatic. Long gone is a dual clutch, which we absolutely adored in the previous car. This thing was a secret rally car. No one knew about it. Kia forgot to tell anybody. It was awesome. But most buyers don't care about that. And it did fail our hill test last time because that dual clutch overheated. So fingers crossed this one makes it the hill. That'll be our next episode for this. Stay tuned for that. And I think most buyers are going to like the smoothness of this transmission because it is smooth and the all-wheel drive is still very solid. So all that covered, let's hop on the interior.
All right, time to check out the interior of the 2024 refreshed Seltos. Let's start in the back. You have to manually pull it up, but I mean look, that's not a problem.
Whatever.
But we get back here, Brian, and look, there is plenty of room. What this is, you said it a minute ago under the hood, it's a rally hatchback. And that's really what this is when you get inside. It's the hatchback theme continues. And what that means, you get plenty of storage in here. You get your spare tire under there.
Whoa.
Easy to access. You could probably also maybe hide some things there that, you know, needed to be transported. Who knows? And then you can fold down the seats. Let's take this off, which is actually very simple, like most hatches.
Very easy.
And then you fold the seat down. And now, this is the magic of any hatchback in the world. Look at all this room.
Holy cow.
Massive opening and massive amounts of room. That's what we're talking about. All right, Brian, moving on to the back. Let's check out the door first as usual. And the Kia funkiness continues. I love their bold with design. Look at that speaker grill and how hexagonal and all the motions going on there. That's pretty cool. And then you get a nice big cubby for a, you know, some sort of sport bottle or whatever you need to do, a hydro flask, plenty of room. All right, let's get on to the inside and let's talk about the room back here. This is actually quite roomy for a hatchback.
Are you sitting behind yourself?
I'm sitting behind myself, and this is the magic of this packaging. It's a roomy hatchback. The other thing about the seat is you can actually recline it a little bit. You can go back farther. My wife sat back here at first and she thought, well, this is reclined too far. It's really weird. But you can actually just pull it back up and it's not as big of a deal and you can sit a little more upright. It's more comfortable.
Not really a thing in this segment of cars.
You don't usually get that.
Yeah.
Let's continue on. You get a nice center armrest that doesn't fold to the, you know, to sit on the bottom. Plenty of room for your cups. And then down here, Brian, they moved on to the modern world USB-C, USB-C, a little cubby, and rear AC. It's unbelievable how many brands do not have rear AC. Then this small little hatchback has it. That's good.
Bronco?
Nope.
Tacoma?
Nope.
Doesn't have it.
Don't have it.
Those are big boys.
Right.
A lot of sedans. I don't think the Accord even has it back there.
Right. Doesn't have it. So, Brian, but also I want to show something else back here. We don't have, you mentioned it previously on the outside, we don't have a moonroof or a panoramic roof. None of that business going on, which means you might fit. So get in here and see what happens.
Funky hat off. Let's
funky hat off. Yeah, be normal.
Oh, never wear that hat in
as
here?
best you can be.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And
now the seats recline back all the way.
Yeah, you got it pimped out, but you got the option to do that.
I would happily go on a trip in this.
I mean, more so than like big Sequoias.
I would not go in the back of the Sequoia. Be very, very clear, I would not ride in the back of the Sequoia if I could help it.
To the front.
To the front.
All right, on to the front row. Check out this door again. We get a nice door pocket down here for your hydro flask. The cool Bose now speaker grill looks really cool, and a little tweeter grill above that. That comes in a glossy black, and that's interesting. One thing I want to point out with the door though, Brian, touch how the soft touch on the top of that door.
That's not soft.
Look, it is it is built to a price, and it's a good price.
This is soft though. The arm pad is soft.
Yeah, but if you're trying to drive, we'll talk about that.
Okay,
anyways.
all right.
Then we'll get that on the drive. All right, moving on to the interior before I get to anything else. Kia knows how to make keys. Okay,
Yeah,
we have fobs. All we have are fobs now. This is a completely, when it's in your pocket, you know that's a different button.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
And that is nice. And we get remote start. I don't have to do any stupid apps or any of that crap. So that's really nice. Rest of the interior, Brian, they've revised basically this. Right. Everybody's gone to the Mercedes A-Class dash or S-Class dash.
Right.
And it's in everything now. The new Mustang, this now. I'll say this though. It works.
It works. Hard to complain.
Yeah, what do you say?
Yep.
Let's get to the infotainment. I want to point that out. And it's also hot, so I'm turning the AC on, but I'll turn it on low for y'all. Okay, there we go. It's on. But let me show you all some things. This right here, the instrument cluster, is amazing. So what's fun is you can change this background. You can change it to, you know, just round gauges, sport white background gauges. I like this one. This is the dynamic gauge. And what it changes right now, it's just, it's kind of sunny because that's what it is outside. As it gets dark and the sun sets, this changes along with it. And in the morning, the sunrise, it looks like a sunrise. What's really also cool, as you move, you'll see things move on it. As you get closer to the city, you'll see more buildings show up on the horizon. I live farther out in the country. There's no buildings in the horizon. That's really neat. Moving on over here to the actual infotainment, you get all the fun things. This right here, the sound mood lamp, is really cool. You touch that and you can actually toggle the mood and pick which color you want, all that fun stuff. And what'll happen, Brian, is right here, there's a little LED strip, and there's an LED strip under here, and it matches the beat of the music.
That's pretty cool.
How cool is that? So, Brian, with that, it's really hot. This is a great interior, and I think we need to take it on the road.
Yeah, let's go drive it. It's hot.
Let's go drive
AC time.
All right, Brian, we're in the 2024 Kia Seltos SX Turbo.
All-wheel drive.
No.
Wait.
The 4X.
Oh, excuse me, 4X, but it's fully updated for 24.
Yes.
And by fully, I mean it's got a slightly different nose, and it's got an 8-speed instead of a dual clutch. But we can load the torque converter with this one.
Okay. Load it, hit it.
2K is all it'll do, and dump. No turbo, no turbo, no turbo. There's the turbo! 40, 50, and 60.
Well, Brian, my fat butt has really slowed it down, 9.41.
Yeah, it was 8.5 earlier.
Just
okay.
Look, I ate a lot of food. It's my birthday week.
And all that cake's gotta go somewhere, Craig. Okay, let's take it out of sport mode, and look, she's not meant to be fast from the factory. That's okay. But let's talk about ride and drive.
Also, let's mention that it's 100 degrees.
It is 100 degrees. Good point. Good point.
It is a hot day. This has not been the best day for testing of vehicles.
We've had trouble with another vehicle today, too.
Another vehicle today that did not do the greatest.
This has not gone into limp mode, though. I want to point that out.
Fair point. We know it's going to do faster.
Yeah, it's felt faster all week.
Right.
And also, I've noticed once you're rolling, it just finds boost right away.
Right.
And it's out of the holes where it's like, hey, boost comes in after 3K, which makes it really fun because it's a spunky motor, it's a peaky turbo. It's not just down low boring. So kudos.
We reviewed this car. This is our third time now.
Yes.
Let's talk about the biggest difference, and that is the 8-speed that you already mentioned.
Yep.
Kind of affected some of that launch.
Well, hold on. There's actually something bigger than that that's changed.
Oh, what's that?
We're on a rural road and it's not noisy right now.
I was going to get that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think it's a bigger deal.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because we can have phone calls on this and hear the other person.
That's a good point.
It's very nice. Sorry.
You're right. They've actually, there's been some refinement with this mid-cycle refresh, which is, I'm going to say this for all cars, all makes and models. Never buy the first one that came out.
Right.
The mid-cycle refresh is a great one to buy because they've solved so many problems. And they solved road noise problem in this one.
Right. The downside is they changed the transmission from what we really liked before.
Which long-term probably means it'll last a lot better, but it affected its launch.
And this is probably going to be better off-road because it's not going to overheat going up hills.
That's true.
Because it's not balancing that clutch slip the whole time. So we'll find out about that in our off-road test.
But on dirt roads, when I tried to play Audi all-road
rally car guy,
it definitely was not as a little less engaging than the first one.
Yeah, it's not as crispy. Is it? The other one was like pop, pop, pop.
And you would get in between some shifts where you wanted to be occasionally. Like, not that this transmission is bad at all. It's a great transmission.
And I will say, when you go to sport mode, it does its best to imitate that rapid fire shift sometimes.
Yeah.
But not consistently.
And it's way better than the CVT.
Oh, yeah. No, look, you had the option to not get a CVT in a midsize crossover. Thank you, Kia. Everybody else, take note, okay? Another thing I want to get into is that the steering is just as good as it was last year.
Yep.
And the dampening is set up just right like it was last year.
Absolutely. This thing rides great.
Yeah, rides great. Hit it up with speed, and it takes it, doesn't bottom out, and it does have a little body lean, but not much. It controls its motions really well.
It really does.
Yeah.
And that's the little hidden rally car hatchback we have found here that no one on the market understands. I get it. This thing is marketed towards someone that doesn't want a Kia Soul but can't afford a Sorento.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, cool.
Agreed.
This is a little more normal.
But it should be an X-Pro trim model. They should market it as a little bit of a rally car.
Oh, that would be so much fun. And they did have actually some concept cars of that. They're actually kind of cool.
Oh, I know. All right, all that covered. Rear AC vents are a big plus in the summertime.
Absolutely.
I think it's comfortable. And the sight lines, we forgot to mention that, are really, really good.
Most importantly, Sounds of Nature. And this is the biggest update for Kia fans. It's been updated, buddy.
Yep.
We get Explore the Universe now. And actually,
What is that?
And the rainforest actually adds instruments to it. Interesting, controversial. I like the old rainforest because there was no instruments. This one has it. Now it's a little less sounds of nature-y.
Okay.
Let us know what you think. I'm probably the only one that cares in the world. I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay, well, if you like this, hit the like button. That helps us a ton. That's way how YouTube knows to keep sharing this. And if you want to see more, subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And let's connect to those sounds of nature.